How's it going, everybody? Here we are, ready to dive in to the second 9 weeks. Fantastic. So, I've got all my stuff assembled here. Guys, I'm going to give you a real quick rundown of what you need to do. I'm not doing any measuring. I'm not doing any identification of exactly what's going in. You need to do that. How much are you putting in? 5 millimeters, 10 millimeters, an ounce, an inch, some shape, form, or fashion. You've got to measure the amount of stuff going in so we can recreate your experiment. If your terrarium winds up working fantastic, well, we want to market it, right? We need to be able to tell people exactly what to do in order to get a good experiment. But you've got everything there. I've got everything out. Now, you may not have nice, neat rocks all the same size. No big deal. Go gather some rocks outside. You can find some if you root around. I've got sorghum moss. You can use Spanish moss. It's something to try and keep the water away from all the soil so your roots don't get too soggy. Use what you can find. Some regular moss, pine needles, something. Then I've got an assortment of just some plain old sand. Now you may just find some more sandy soil. I've got some topsoil. This is nice, rich stuff that I got out of a garden area, so it's kind of a nice mixed topsoil. If you've got any kind of garden or nearby area where things are growing real well, just scoop some of the dirt up. Now I've also got a little bit of potting soil, straight from Lowe's, out of the bag potting soil. You've got to detail what you have. These are the choices we have here. You should have something similar. And go outside and find something that'll grow. What grows great in a terrarium? Weeds. I have just one little piece of nice grass. I've got another kind of weed. I find this all over the place. Kind of like this one too, because it has little blooms on it. But anyway, what I've got here that I'm going to plant are some weeds. I have some water, and I have chopsticks. What are chopsticks? Sticks. I need something to be able to get down in my jar with. So here we go. Without any further ado, guys, this is all there is to it. Once again, you need to know exactly how much you're putting in, but this is dirty terrarium. Adventures in terrarium really quickly. So, quick and dirty. I'm going to put some rocks in. Rocks are going to keep the water away from all of the roots, keep it from getting root sog. I'm going to put a little bit of my sorghum moss in there. Once again, it keeps moisture trapped in, but away from the root system. Now, I don't really know exactly how I want to go here, so I'm going to go with a little bit. You know what? I'm going to go with sand first. A little layer of sand in there. I'm going to go with some of my potting soil. And then I'm going to go with my topsoil. Now, how you want to do that or try that is up to you. So I've got my nice neat layer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of water in there. Let that kind of settle in. I might want more. I'm going to kind of eyeball. I want it to be damp, wet, but I don't want it to be too much. And you want to be careful. I know exactly how much I started with, so I can then come back and figure out how much I put in there. How much water goes in there? I don't know. It depends on your plant. How much soil? How much sorghum moss or Spanish moss? Is it sandy soil or is it topsoil? It's hard to know. That's why you got to detail everything as careful as you can. That's a good experiment. Now, my plants. That was a little bit big. I'm just going to drop it down in there. And I'm going to use my chopsticks and I'm just going to make sure those roots get all down in there and covered up. So make sure my roots get in. So I've got one plant. Now this guy kind of has a long root, so I'm going to make a hole. Make a nice neat hole in there and see if I can get those roots on in there. Oh yeah, there he goes. Get on in there, buddy. This is why you want the big hole for your jar. I want to kind of get in there and help those roots get down. And the chopsticks are a little tougher for that. If I had little tiny hands, that would be really nice, but as it is, we've got it in there pretty good. And I've got one more other glove. I'm going to go with this. I kind of like this. It's got some put a little skin. I'll throw it in there. This nice little plant here. And drop him down over in the corner. Now, I forgot to bring them with me into my setup here, but at the classroom, we're going to toss a little bit of grass seeds in here. Now, you may not have grass seeds, and don't go out and buy any, but if your dad, uncle, somebody happens to have some laying around, just get a little pinch. We're going to do like 1 gram of them. It's a very small amount. We're just going to sprinkle some on the top to see if they'll grow. I'm kind of seeing if my water's settled in. I'm going to go with a little bit more, so once again, I can go back. I knew how much I started with, what I have left, so I know how much water. Finally, we're going to make it a closed system. At this point, I have got everything in there I need. I've got soil, I've got nutrients, I've got water in there, I've got my plants, my organisms. I'm going to have some microscopic organisms in here, some bacteria. I'm going to have some protists, some living things. I more than likely even have some little insects that happen to be in the dirt, etc. And they're all going in there. I now have a closed system. No matter can get in, no matter can get out. That's what I'm after. What gets in? Energy. Sunlight can make it in, heat can't escape. My moisture has to stay in there. Whatever is in here now stays there. This thing's nice and tight. I'm going to take it home. I've got my terrarium. You need to detail where it's going to go. Is it going to go on your window? Is it going to go on a windowsill? Is it going to go at the kitchen counter, outside? Detail. Is it getting a lot of light? Is it getting indirect light? These all make a difference. All these choices are up to you. But at this point, you have your closed system, and we're going to begin our adventure in terrarium. Build a terrarium, set it aside, detail it for the next 6 weeks. Right now, I want a sketch of what it looks like. I kind of see my layers. I've got my plants in there. They're all bright, dark green. Later, we're probably going to see some moisture come on the side, and you're observing your plants. Are they wilting? Do they come back? Do they die? Do they sprout? I have seen new stuff grow out of here. You got seeds in the dirt you didn't even know you had. I have seen people later find it getting eaten because there was a little worm in there they didn't know they had originally. All kinds of things can happen. Yours might thrive. Yours might barely survive. Yours might die entirely. But if it dies, we don't write it dies. That's an infant. We're making observations. You say it turned brown. It is wilted because you know what? It might come back. Just because it gets brown and wilts and goes down doesn't mean it's over. As they say, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And we're going to wait 6 weeks and see how your terrarium does. Make sure everybody knows this is your science experiment. Otherwise, your mom will go, yuck, what's a jar of dirt doing in here? And throw it away. Happens every year. Put a sign under it. Tape it up. This is my science experiment. My grade depends on it. This guy is important. You got to keep up with it for the next 6 weeks. You're not going to turn this in until after Christmas. I know. January 14th. Is when this bad boy's over. So build it, set it aside, enjoy it. It's your new friend for the next 6 weeks. Take care, guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go home and eat some dinner.